Spaceman, Paul here in Missouri. I was watching the news with you and Rudy, and I think you inadvertently coined a new phrase. You've got AI, which is artificial intelligence, and you've got EI, which is estrogen influx. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Rudy's here. Everyone loves Rudy and his news.
What's going on?
We'll do that in a second. I was looking down on my list of things to talk about. I had an interesting thought. Well, I think it's interesting. I kind of think everything means something. Like I don't take anything as light. You know, if you see a neighbor walking down the street, you're standing on your porch, and that neighbor's walking to get his mailbox, and he picks up a piece of garbage that somebody left and puts it in the trash can and walks back. You go, okay, that's a good neighbor. That's a good dude. That guy's kind of universally good.
Yes.
And if you saw another neighbor like walking down the street and their dog was sniffing and they kicked the dog in the ribs, you'd go, okay, that's an asshole neighbor. Now you go, what do you know about that person? Well, all you know is that guy picked up a piece of garbage and that guy kicked his dog. But I think I know a lot about that person. And that's kind of how I roll. Like, most people, for some reason, don't do that. Like, when I saw the clip, and we always play it, it's worth playing it again, and Andrew's got to look for it because I didn't talk to him. But when I saw the clip of Joe Biden, like, standing up on stage, holding a microphone, explaining that he was two-time Fulbright scholarship. He's the top of his law class, and he's the only dual major law student that's ever been sent from Cornell. And then he was lying about everything, and he was like 55. I'm like, that guy's a super flawed, fucked up, narcissistic, broken person.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, everything that guy says is now suspect. I've never talked to my son about his business ever. You were just standing in front of a group telling me you won the Lombardi Trophy and the Outlander Trophy and the Butkus Award, and you're the top of your law class, and you were at the bottom of your law class, and you didn't do any of that stuff. So now people go, it's just a politician's up there bragging. Maybe his memory didn't. Are you kidding? That is a sociopath.
Sure.
That's an insane sociopath.
Well, I went to law school.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's go. It's good. The whole clip is awesome. And by the way, it's back when news used to be news. It's back when they would, on ABC or NBC, go after a Democrat. This is great.
The new question stemmed from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Awesome.
is a full-blown sociopath.
Yep.
Okay, and for me, I go, something's wrong with that. Now, Trump explaining that when he gets elected, he's going to turn everything into gold is different. It's weird. It's like there's blowhards that talk about being big man on campus and star of the high school team or something. It's different than what Biden does. And what Trump does is a blowhardy version of it. But it was an interesting thing. So here's what I was looking at. Somebody showed a clip, and it was over the weekend. It was a UFC fight. Paulo Costa, I guess, won his fight. And he jumps over the fence. He's going to say hi to Trump, which is what all these guys do. All the UFC guys love Trump. all the merit-based people love Trump, airline pilots and stuff like that. It's this faculty, school, teacher, lounge folk that don't like Trump. Yeah. The fucking super lazy fucks
the
who don't
people
do
with
anything.
No merits.
Right. Things who don't compete or do anything. So all the people that compete love Trump. So he jumps over, and we'll just show you the clip. Trump, he wants to say hi to Trump, and he just wins his fight. I don't know what round he won it in, but it doesn't matter. He just finished a UFC fight. You can play it. And Trump grabs his hand. Now, his hand is a sweaty, bloody piece of mess because he just got done pummeling someone with his right hand. And Trump won't let go of his hand, which has to be wet.
Yeah.
With sweat, saliva, maybe blood. Trump's not wearing a glove. Trump just grabbed onto his hand. Now he touches his sweaty arm with his other hand. Now he starts touching his leg. This guy is one big petri dish, sucking up sweat. By the way, he's not wiping his hands. He's not going for a rag. He grabs his hand again. So is Dana White. Okay, here's what I'm saying. That's a dude. That's a dude. That's not Mr. Purell. That's not triple mask. That's not, where that's been, or what about that. It's different. There's a mindset. I don't think you wouldn't find Kamala Harris doing that. And by the way, I look, the guy reaches out, you give him the bump in your retreat, but you don't hang on to a wet, sweaty leather glove, which again, it's got his sweat, it's got the other guy's sweat, it's got blood, spit, whatever, DNA, whatever's on there. And then his whole body's covered with sweat, and you're touching him.
And he wipes his hair with his right hand and then shakes his hand after that. One of the best pieces of advice I was ever given, I was working construction, like 17 years old. My grandfather was still alive. My grandfather had this guy that he had hired during the summer. He was a little bit older than I was, probably like in his mid-20s, but he said to me, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And it completely changed my life. It completely changed. How you do one thing is, and I think about that every time I write a joke, or every time I clean my car, or every time I I write a script. I just go, how are you going to finish this, or aren't you? Because if you can finish cleaning your car, you can finish the goddamn script, and you can do it professionally.
Yes, which is not exactly apples to apples for what I'm talking about.
But I'm saying
a good message for the kids anyway.
Yeah, but like you shake a guy's hand, it's all sweaty. You're also, how you do one thing is how you do everything. You're not grossed out by that guy, which means you're probably a guy that can mix it up with other people. You can be germy. You're okay with it.
You are okay on a construction site, because a construction site is a lot of sweaty dudes.
That's what I'm saying.
And a lot of guys all lifting up something at the same time, and you're getting your other guys' shit all over you. And it's kind of a eating lunch, just sort of sitting on the ground, sitting on a pile of bricks and eating stuff, putting your sandwich down on the side of the brick, like it's a dude move. And that is, and that it doesn't, I wouldn't know. By the way, I kind of would know something about that guy's foreign policy, which is fuck with this country and you get blown up, because he's the same guy who doesn't care about all the sweat.
See what I mean?
On the guy. All right. Let's see. You got news?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Let's jump into it. A new bill dubbed the Stop Nick Shirley Act passed its first hurdle in California's legislature late Tuesday. The bill's movement comes after 24-year-old independent journalist Nick Shirley published a 40-minute video on hospice fraud in the state. His video racked up 42 million views on X and has brought public scrutiny to California's funded Medicare programs. Other investigations have found that a single program is causing the state to hemorrhage $6 billion in fraud annually.
Right. So we got to stop it. Now, okay, couple things. Politicians, look, this is their constituency, and they don't really care about fraud. They care about their constituency, and you experienced it in Minnesota. That's what's going on. But here's the thing about politicians in the past. They had to feign some sort of sincerity or some sort of caring, you know what I mean? Which is out the window now. And you can find another one of my favorite clips was the Nancy Pelosi, when they were asking her during the Summer of Love, like, people are tearing down statues. Don't you think they should get a permit for that or something? And she goes, people are just, they're going to do what they do. It's like, you have to feign. Okay, Nancy Pelosi, your constituency are the animals that's burning the city to the ground. But you have to pretend like you don't like it, even though you do like them and you want their vote. But you have to pretend when we put a mic in front of you. So this thing, that's your constituency. It's all immigrants. It's Somalis, I guess. There's actually a clip of Nick talking about it, which, by the way, we should probably play. The Somalis, where you're from, Armos, where I'm from, but that's their protected group. These are immigrants. These are poor. By the way, they're harder working and contribute more and pay more taxes and use less than we do. Did you know that about the Somalis?
I mean, I was definitely aware.
Except for 80% of them are on welfare. But okay, but that's the rap, right? That's how it works. So we used to feign an interest in this. And what we would do is you would get up there and you'd go, I'm outraged by this fraud. That's taxpayer money, and I'm here to fight for that. And then you'd go back and do nothing. Now you're releasing bills saying we can't uncover the fraud.
Yeah, one of the things that they talk about is these people are not allowed to put out any sort of content which may, with the intent to threaten, intimidate, or incite violence, which is basically them just putting out facts, and then they just go, well, you only put that to incite violence.
Well, let's see if we can just get a 10,000-foot view of this. You are for a secure border and you're against illegal immigration, but if somebody says, I want to build a wall at the border, you say you're going to tear it down. And if someone in Texas tries to put barbed wire over the Rio Grande, you sue Texas to get it taken down. So are you against this thing? And you're against fraud, except for you're going to attack Elon Musk when he puts together a thing called Doge and burn his dealerships. And you're against fraud, but you're releasing a bill to essentially attack the guy who uncovered the fraud. So you're against these things, except for there's no part of your action that ever seems against any of these things. And now you're in a really weird position because you have to go through your political life saying, I'm against this and I'm against fraud and I'm for a closed and stout border, except for everything I do is to repel both those things. Mm-hmm. And now I'm confused as a voter, except for I'm not. I know what you want. Yes.
And in the wording of this language, journalism is pernicious now.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's hear Nick. Let's hear his response to this.
All right, check this out. This is a bit crazy. California Democrats advance Stop Nick Shirley Act to criminalize investigative journalism. So after I expose widespread fraud all across America, and quite frankly, states like Minnesota and California are just the worst at it, letting fraud take place, especially inside of immigrant communities. For instance, the Somalians in Minnesota and then the Armenians in California. And so now they're trying to silence anybody who exposes fraud inside of California. For instance, if this bill is passed, the Quality Leering Center that was in Minnesota would be protected from being exposed. That is absolutely crazy. And the crazy thing about this is the person who's proposing this bill, her name is Mia Bonta. Her husband is the Attorney General of California. And so let's say you expose fraud. This is what could happen to you inside the state of California. You could get a misdemeanor, a $10,000 fine, imprisonment, and your content forced to be deleted. That is absolutely crazy. It is time for people to either stand up or we face mass oppression from those that rule us.
Oh, no kings. Yeah, I'm going to go down a no kings march.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob Bonta is the AG of California. His wife is putting this ahead. First off, would you get your bitch on a leash? Jesus Christ, if my fucking wife said, I got a plan, I'm going to go I'd go, look, sweetheart, you know what that's going to look like for fucking me?
Sure.
We're going to look like idiots. And by the way, you're going to look like you're aiding and abetting fraud. And my job is to stop fraud. Think about the optics of it.
Yeah.
So that's insane. Also, it kind of proves they don't care anymore. Like, just fuck it. I'm just going to, like, there used to be an optics thing where someone go, you know what that looks like? This is also chick think. Chicks will fucking just say anything and do anything. I'm going to put a bill ahead that says it's like Nithya Raman talking about catalytic converters. Like, bitch, shut up. You don't fuck. You got to hear what you sound like with this shit. You're blaming Toyota for people stealing catalytic converters. You're nuts.
Yeah.
That sounds insane. This is a feminine trait. It's kind of the, again, when they pull the guy off the airplane who's been battling with the stewardess for the last hour, you'll always hear the women's voice yelling, "What's going on?" That's not them saying what's going on. That's them saying, I can't control my mouth. I can't control my brain. I just, fucking shit just comes flying out. You know what I mean?
This goes back to the phone call earlier. It is EI, estrogen influx.
Yes. And so California is the most feminine governmental state. And thus we get the most crazy fucking ideas of any place in the land.
And the website they use is ChatCNT.
Rob Bonta, this is his wife.
You should go down a rabbit hole on Bonta. He's a bad dude.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Really?
He's a piece of shit. And also, but it's great. But he's a Latina. He's a Latina color or whatever. This affirmative action, as we used to call it, DEI stuff, people have no idea the damage this has caused. Taking inept fucking dumbos and putting them in positions of power because they're Hispanic or black or lesbian or female or whatever.
All these people have zero moral compass.
He's a fucking idiot.
I believe that Bonta is tied to the investigation on the Duong people in the Bay Area. That Oakland mayor had to step down. She's investigated by the FBI.
We need more females in positions of color.
So essentially, I do think that in this case, Bonta has buried himself into a corner of turning a blind eye to stuff that he knows or he is possibly implicated in. And now his wife is they're double timing, trying to cover everybody's ass by trying to.
But hold on, former Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao.
Yeah.
But that's a woman and a minority, so they're better.
Oh, she's better. I'm sorry.
They don't do stuff, and died in federal bribery and corruption charges.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it turns out bitches are better at this than dudes were.
The Duong family, and I'm not entirely correct on all this, 100% accurate, but I believe what they were doing was they sold the city of Oakland refurbished containers, storage containers that were supposed to be refurbished to become homeless housing.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
And they were charging like $300,000 for one of these. The city of Oakland ordered 1 million of them. There were kickbacks everywhere.
I know. And then the plan is really,
and Bonta is buried in this somewhere.
You really expect we're asking you to investigate your friends, basically, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
By the way, it's all they accuse Trump of is lawfare.
And this stuff better come back and bite these people in the ass that go down to like the Trump rallies and they basically record people and ask them questions that are loaded to make them look like idiots. And then all they do is just post the highlight reel of people saying stupid stuff and go, look at all these yokels over at the Trump rally. Okay, well, it works the same way then. If you don't want to post anything that incites violence or to humiliate, well, then guess what? This is all underneath this bill as well.
There has never been
the whole plan, just like they did with COVID and big tech, is just intimidate people into staying home and being silent, essentially, because as we found out with J6, if the wrong people are in charge, they can fucking ruin your life. I mean, that's kind of the implication.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Sorry.
Wisconsin sheriff sues Pakistani-American woman who said ICE detained her for 2 days when she was actually at a hotel spa. We got video of this.
Good. Sue that bitch. By the way, where are all the stories? Let me tell you something. There's two things. I've heard my whole life about Africanized killer bees coming to California from Mexico. I've never seen one. No one's ever been killed by a killer bee. It's never happened. It's 40 years on. All I hear is about ICE detaining people and disappearing people and doing all this. I never see the actual person. Shouldn't there be some guy who's released from prison with a big gray beard who goes, I was just mowing my lawn and I was mistaken for a Mexican and they disappeared? All you guys do is talk about stuff, but nothing ever comes out the other end.
Yeah.
It's basically their white supremacy is the biggest problem this country faces. Really? Because every time I turn on my phone, it's just some black kid punching an Asian. Mm-hmm. All right. So now, here we go.
That is right, Cheryl. Today, the Dodge County Sheriff said Sundance Sonny Nakvi's story was made up, and he's demanding action accountability for what he calls lies.
Sundance Nakvi was not detained by ICE at any time. She was not transported to Broadview Detention Facility. She was not transported across state lines to Dodge County, by law enforcement anyway. She was not in the custody of the Dodge County Sheriff's Office.
Dodge County Sheriff Dale Schmidt in his lawsuit outlining what he calls a hoax allegedly carried out by 28-year-old Sundance Sonny Nakvi. Nakvi's supporters spoke out last month after the Evanston native claimed she was detained at O'Hare Airport by Customs and Border Protection for 30 hours. Her family says she was then sent to the ICE detention facility in Broadview and later transported to a facility in Dodge County, Wisconsin, where they said she was released Saturday, March 7th. According to the lawsuit, Sheriff Schmidt says Nakvi was actually staying at a hotel near O'Hare and allegedly sent text messages from her room.
She checked into the Hampton Inn and Suites in Rosemont, Illinois for the entire duration of this alleged event. Travel from the Hampton Inn and Suites in Illinois to the Holiday Inn Express in Beaver Dam was done to complete this hoax. She scammed a victim out of thousands of dollars in pursuit of this hoax against the federal government.
Yeah. Look, by the way, when you start making victims into hero status, then you're going to get more people wanting to be fucking heroes.
Yeah, that's the problem with the dumbos that are standing outside of the detention center with signs, because it does incite people to want to pull off more scams like this. Yeah. Because it gets some attention, yeah.
Ro Khanna was getting schooled up by some chick online. I saw it. He's a dope. Who's obviously another California guy. There's a clip of it somewhere. But the reason I was thinking about that is because of they have a version of things. Like what I'm saying is like they have their artist rendering of the bridge that goes over the freeway, and they have their artist rendering of the bullet train, and they have their artist rendering of the 7th Street Bridge. That's a happy drawing that you guys made. Like when Mamdani's talking about the supermarkets and stuff, he has drawings of like happy people getting free food and farmers giving stuff. That's a drawing in your head. The reality is going to be an empty store. People are going to be fighting over the last Triscuit, and it's going to be a shit show. Yeah. And you're going to want more money. But Ro Khanna, listen to him. First off, he's dumb. And then secondly, he's getting schooled. But thirdly, his version of the illegals. Like they always do this thing which drives me insane. Like it's somebody, like someone will go, you'll say, like if you said to a woman or whomever, like you go to your roommate, like, hey, let's, you got all your boxes in the living room. Let's just put those boxes away. And then let's just kind of get organized here, because I tripped over a box last night when I came home. And then they go, he wants me to crawl up the flue in the vent above the oven and scrub it with a toothbrush. And I'm like, that's not what no one's ever said that. Yeah. No one ever said that. No one ever said, I want to go find law-abiding immigrants that are here illegally but are paying taxes and working hard and supporting the family and round them up and disappear them. That's nothing's ever said. But that's his. Let's just listen to him try to make sense for 10 minutes.
As a regular, everyday American citizen, I feel that I am more likely to be harmed by democratic policies such as open borders, because in your state,
I'm for secure borders.
Okay,
right.
But in your state,
he's for secure borders. In his artist rendering of the happy border with the flowers and the happy Mexicans, yes, but you don't do anything. You fight against. The border got secured in 10 minutes after Trump showed up. Why? But he's for it. Mm-hmm. He's for it.
Because in your
I'm for
state,
secure borders.
Okay, so but in your state, something like 4,600 or so illegal migrants that had criminal records were re-released from jail. So when we're talking about harming Americans, when we're talking about children potentially being harmed, when we're looking into child trafficking, we have to acknowledge that illegal migration is the biggest funnel for child trafficking. So when we're worried about Epstein with a couple of people, and you guys turn a blind eye to tens of thousands of children being harmed by your policies, that's a problem.
We have been for a secure border, but here's what I want.
No one in California can say that they're for a secure border.
Well, that's a policy I've been pushing for. But let me say this. Instead of having ICE raids in places like Minneapolis killing Americans like Alex Preddy and Renee Good.
2 people.
And doing raids on undocumented folks.
They remember the name of any nut job that got shot by law enforcement. That's always at the tip of their tongue. The hundreds of people that just get stabbed by illegals every year, they never know one of their names. They can't even pronounce them. They've never said it. They always have those 2 names.
Yeah.
Always, if somebody was killed by law enforcement, they fucking know him up and down and backwards. Wake that guy up in his sleep 5 years from now. Ask him the names of 2 guys killed in Minnesota, and he'll tell you the 2 names. Ask him anybody who's been killed by an illegal.
Yeah.
They'll never know the fucking name.
The good-looking blonde gal on the subway.
Right.
No recollection.
All right, here we go.
Killing Americans like Alex Preddy and Renee Good.
2 people.
And doing raids on undocumented folks here who may be paying taxes and having a restaurant. How about we have the focus on the border to stop
hold on. So ICE is
having a restaurant.
They're having a restaurant and paying taxes and having a restaurant. As someone find me a clip of Trump saying, you know what I'm going to do with these ICE officials? I'm going after taxpayers who have restaurants.
Yeah.
All right, keep playing. It's funny.
Terrorists or to stop the gangs or to stop sex trafficking.
So,
all right, hold on. There's 1 million hours of Tom Homan saying these guys, there's terrorists, there's sex traffickers, there's gang members. We need to go into your town and clean these fucking people up. But he wants to know why they're going after restaurant owners and not gang members. So no one's ever said that. Ever. It broke. What the answer is like, where's he get his information from? It's fucking. All right, so keep going. So
here who may be paying taxes and having a restaurant. How about we have the focus on the border to stop the terrorists or to stop the gangs or to stop sex trafficking?
The border's closed.
If you're worried about sex trafficking, why is your focus on the border on rich people?
The border's closed.
Committing significantly less sex trafficking crimes. Not saying that they're innocent, but your anger towards this seems very skewed and very hypocritical.
My anger towards them is because they feel like they're above the law. That they
and
use
so do
their
these migrants that get right back out of jail when you guys let them out.
But I am not.
They are above the law. They are at a tier that gets to walk free whenever they want.
I believe that if you've committed a violent crime or a terrible crime in this country, you should face deportation.
But you guys don't do it. You believe it, but you let these people go.
Hold on. He believes in a lot of stuff he doesn't do or say ever.
Mm-hmm. I believe in a clean house. I just don't clean it.
That's right. All right, sorry. Keep going. There's a good part.
Obama had a record of having secured the border, and there were a lot of criminals who were deported. What I don't agree with is what ICE is doing, putting terror in communities. I mean, let me ask you this.
I feel comfortable with ICE around. I'm not a criminal, illegal immigrant, so I feel very comfortable. I'm not terrorized by them, and I'm from New York. Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. If there's an undocumented immigrant here, right, came across without their papers, and they opened a restaurant.
All right, pause. What do you mean without their papers?
Came across, but they forgot them at home.
They forgot they just stumbled across with no papers.
Yeah, man.
It's like sometimes you go to the airport, but you forgot your license, and then you got to call your girlfriend to bring it to you so you can go through security.
These are specific papers that just say they can come to America.
Well, they came here and they forgot their papers.
I'm sorry, I forgot my papers.
But anyway, they opened a restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, I have. They have a restaurant.
By the way, is there one person that's been deported that is this person he speaks
Wait,
of?
did the gangbangers own the restaurants? Is that who were arrested
They
here?
forgot the papers they had. Here we go.
And they've been
Why?
Here.
Why are they allowed to do that? Why are they taking that place away from someone else?
Right? Let's say they've been here 10 years and they're paying taxes. Do you think ICE should go and try to deport them, or do you think that we should? So we just disagree there.
We disagree in that he's an elected official and a lawmaker who doesn't want to enforce the law, and she's some chick from Brooklyn who does want to enforce it, but they disagree. That's where we... what other laws do we disagree on?
At least they're both for border security.
Ro Khanna, I disagree on the 55 speed limit. How about that? I'm an 85 guy.
Yeah.
That's where we disagree. So no law enforcement. So he wants us to shut the border to stop the terrorists from getting in. Except for he left the fucking border open for 4 years, never said a thing, and now the border is shut. So what's he talking about with the border, number one? And then number two, he's invented this person. This is the Maryland dad. You invented this nice guy, forgot his paperwork, starting a thriving business and paying tons of taxes, and then we're going to shut that guy down. Is this what you think this is? And by the way, don't you have any thoughts about how fucking dumb you sound when you speak? Like people film it and then they put it up and then I make fun of you. Like,
yeah, going back to what you said earlier is that sometimes people need to hear what they sound like. Sadly, I think they do know what they sound like and they're okay with it. They just keep rolling with it.
The Nancy Pelosi statue thing. Did we ever find that? I don't know why I am so enamored with that.
Yeah.
Literally someone's asking a person that people are tearing down statues. And you know, she goes, she said she's not much of a, she's not nostalgic. Like she doesn't collect stuff. She's not a scrapbooker. And people are doing what they do, you know, which is, you know, running in the streets and burning shit. And by the way, she's from California. In California, if you want to hang up a hummingbird feeder, you got to pull a permit.
Sure.
You want to tear down 7,000 tons of bronze in a park? You're on your own.
Turn into scrap
Just
metal.
tie that hose to the back of the pickup truck and get a running start. All right, this is great.
The city of Richmond is obviously in sync with your desire to get rid of Confederate statues, but in Baltimore and Little Italy, the statue of Christopher Columbus was removed or taken down. And I wonder if you have anything to share about that.
Well, I'm not a big, you know, I don't even have my grandmother's earrings. I'm not a big, let's see what we have in terms of monuments and this. If the community doesn't want the statue there, the statue shouldn't be there.
Respectfully, shouldn't that be done by a commission or the city council, not a mob in the middle of the night throwing it into the harbor?
People will do what they do.
Jesus fucking Christ, people. You 200. Yeah. All right, by the way, people will wander through the rotunda on January 6th, bitch. That's just people doing what they do. You don't have feelings about other people doing things. She's not into nostalgia.
Hypocrite. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right. Friday, Phoenix. Rudy's going to be there being funny. Desert Ridge Improv. First show sold out on Friday, but other shows are going good over there. Sunday we're doing as well. I'm going to be everywhere. Rudy will be everywhere too. Just go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. And for Rudy, just go to rudypovichcomedy.com. And until next time, this is Adam for Rudy and Joey saying mahalo. Thanks for tuning into the Adam Carolla Show. You can watch the full show on YouTube. Just search Adam Carolla Show and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also get the podcast wherever you like to listen. And for extra content, ad-free episodes, and more, you can head over to our Substack and sign up today. Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice. We're going to manage to get it on. Big Ed from 90 Day Fiancé is in studio. A lot of fans around here. Dr. Drew's a huge 90 Day Fiancé fan. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah. I did not know that.
You did not? Pull that mic nice and close to you.
Like that right here.
There you go.
Scoot up.
How did it all start? How did you get recruited to do that show?
Okay, what a good question. So I never heard of the show, and I met a girl on Facebook, Rose, and I was FaceTiming with her probably for about 4 months, and she wanted me to come for her birthday, so I bought a ticket, posted it online on Facebook. Sorry, can I say Facebook?
Say whatever you like.
There we go. So I posted on Facebook, and my buddy Rich, who's my ride home, he brought me up here. He sent me the link, and I filled it out like a lotto ticket. And basically, a 54-year-old in love with a 23-year-old with a 31-year-old daughter. And within 2 hours, they were texting me, "We want to talk to you." And the next morning at 7:30, my phone rings, and like, "Hey, I'm a producer. You know, can we take a look at your social media?" And I've been dancing on pool tables in a Nacho Libre costume for 12 years ago. I was
Nacho Libre,
big fan. So I'm a card. I'm a kind of a crazy entertainer guy. And they're like, oh, they just struck gold, So short story long, I get on the show.
Everyone just wants to look at everyone's social media just to see what good and bad, what they're up to.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
Part of Aryan Nazi youth or culture or something. They want to know that, but they want the fun stuff, Nacho Libre on pool tables.
Yeah, everything and above. So didn't have a lot of followers, maybe had 350 followers. But, everybody on there I actually knew. So I ended up, saying I'll do the show. I had to move my trip up. They come to San Diego, they show up with cameras, and, I'm a little bit freaked out. And I go, what do I do? And they're like, well, don't make, can I cuss or no?
Do whatever you want.
Okay, good. So they're like, don't make shit up and don't look at the camera. And that's all the direction I ever got. So and we're often, and I lived in San Diego. I'm an architect, designer.
Architect, designer?
Yeah. So
I'm going to punch my staff. So I said, what's Big Ed do? And they said, photographer.
Yeah. So the show, so that was part of my life, but it was more exciting than, being an architect, right?
Not to this podcast host. I like architecture.
Well, thank you so much. And by the way, I love your studio, and I love Evel Knievel.
I architected and designed it. What do you... So you do like residential stuff, commercial stuff? Like what's your stuff?
I did more German. It was called German Room Concept. So we did high-end kitchens, and then I mainly did loft design, like open space. So I did everything soup to nuts from the floor, to the ceiling. I would order, 8-foot Italian tile, and which drove my the owner of the company crazy, because if that stuff cracked in shipping and you're on schedule, it would throw the whole project off. So so I'm a professional designer working in Little Italy in San Diego. There's no parking.
You guys got a Little Italy over there?
Yeah, we do.
We don't have one in LA.
You need one.
I cannot see us ever getting a Little Italy, because that's just basically a white person and we're the target, and no one's gonna. We have a Little Ethiopia.
Oh yeah.
We don't have a Little Italy.
Yes.
Well, there's nobody who would ever push for a Little Italy. That would be a hate crime.
Well, if you're ever in San Diego, it's a conglomerate of really good restaurants. In fact, Riza is one of my favorite. I have an event there tonight, actually.
So you're doing architecture and design, and you say lofts, but you mean like the kind of working, like, there's these open floor plan sort of live spaces now?
Yeah, kind of everything and above. So in San Diego, we have I did a lot of high rises. So you go and it's an open plan, and I would put up walls. I would take down walls.
So you're doing in those high-end kitchens?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how you could spend how much on one of those kitchens pretty easily?
Oh, a kitchen alone, $300.
$300K.
Yeah, you're looking at Gagnau, Thermador, Miele.
Yeah,
the appliances alone are $50,000.
Right, and then the surfaces, the cabinetry, blah blah blah. I mean, you could spend $300,000 on a kitchen.
Easy, yeah. And for me, it was good because that was all commission. So,
and you're getting the large cast tile.
Yes.
On there from Italy.
Yes.
You got to think. What's it like to set tile when the tile is 4 foot wide and 8 foot long and a half-inch thick? Like, you have to set that tile like that. That's a bit of a chore. I think it's going to involve suction cups.
Yeah, it's incredible. So there was a remodel I did in Del Mar, and it was a single slab of soapstone, and the thing was probably 60 by 120, one solid piece.
All right, so hold on. 5 foot by 10 foot. Nobody knows anything anymore. They don't know numbers or inches or millimeters. No one fucking knows anything. So you have to go 5 foot by 10 foot.
Correct. So it's an island.
10 foot one, because it's some metric number. But anyway,
yeah, it's an island with the sink cut out. It took 10 guys to lift that thing and set it in place.
So it's a giant island.
Yeah, and they basically, they put down this like glue, and they just set it. Mastic, yeah, like a type of glue.
Mastic.
Yeah, so I tell them, look, I'm just the designer. I don't know how you do it. I just design it.
Yeah, but that's a cool job.
It is, yeah. A lot of fun.
Yeah, and creative, and I get it. And also, something we're missing philosophically is when you get to walk into a space that's empty oftentimes, just a slab, you know, like especially if you're doing commercial space, you're doing a high rise, it's just a slab on the floor. And then when you leave, you see a $300,000 kitchen with soapstone and an Italian Carrara marble and Miele and Gagano and all that. And you look at it and you go, that's what I do. That's what I do. If you just do data entry all day, you never have that finished feeling.
That's why although I have a master's in architecture, I never wanted to do architecture. I wanted to be with my clients. I would walk into a space and I would know within 5 or 10 minutes what I was going to do. But you can't let the cat out of the bag. You got to ask them, hey, so, you know, what ideas do you have? You know, and you have to listen to them because it's part of the design, part of the whole process. But then as I'm listening to them, I already know what I'm going to do. So I'm trying to figure out how am I going to guide them down this path, because we have a saying in architecture, you have people with money and no vision and people with vision and no money. And I'm one of those. I have vision and no money. So but it's a lot of fun. I would have all gamuts of clients, from the people that would try to nickel and dime you to the people that would just hand me their credit card and go, okay, we need to select your appliances. Okay, I trust you. You know, they're in Mexico City or they have a place in Coronado. Those were my favorite kind of clients. I'm like, hey, we need a faucet. Ed, go find me a faucet. Those are the best kind of clients to have.
That trust your eye.
Absolutely.
In your experience. So 90 Day Fiancé, they have you as a photographer.
Yeah. Well, we did film in my showroom, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. There was a small snippet, but I got into photography years ago. I started. My daughter was when she was young, I would do studio pictures of her, and then I fell in love with the idea of having a space where you could control everything from the lighting, you know, to the backdrop or whatever. So I got into fashion photography. I started to do covers. I did a lot of. I did a show one time. It was called Recycled Fashion in Contemporary Form, where I had a friend that owned a retro shop, and I would go in and she would sometimes just rent me these really cool dresses, and then I would put really cool colored backgrounds, and then I would have this.
I mean, you're a creative.
Yes,
I would say
pretty much.
But you had to leave the country to find a bride.
You would be surprised how, I mean, and I just heard this the other day, the two hardest cities to meet someone is, believe it or not, San Diego and New York. And you would think that there are so many beautiful women that it would be easy, but my whole thing with Rose was I could meet a girl in the bar.
She's from where? Sorry.
Philippines.
Philippines, yes.
So I could be in a local bar in San Diego and meet a beautiful woman or not. But I could do more for Rose in a third, or I call it a fourth world country. I could do more for Rose and her son than I could meeting anyone in a local bar. So I wanted to meet somebody young. I wasn't having very much success, you know, in San Diego. So, and I literally figured, what the heck? I'm making some money. You know, I meet this girl on Facebook. First of all, I thought I would never meet her to begin with. I'm like, oh, this is kind of a pipe dream. We would talk, but then I got to know her and her dad and her family and her son. I'm like, you know, okay.
She lives in the Philippines.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Right outside of Manila.
Good, because that's the only place I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
In the Philippines.
Did you know this about the Philippines?
Oh, Bangkok, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. That's what she said. There's over 7,000 islands in the Philippines.
I had no idea.
I didn't. I went to one of them. I went to Phuket.
So now, all right, let's see if we can break this down. I think when people think of guys going to these places and getting these young, beautiful women, the assumption is, well, they're using you because they want to come to America. They want what you have. They want this lifestyle. And I think to some extent, that's true, but to some extent, that's sort of all relationships.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's kind of interesting. You know, I'm a guy. I live here. I make a lot of money. I didn't have to go to the Philippines, but I still had to fucking pay for everything, and I feel like I got used.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And by the way, when she leaves, not that would happen, they take everything.
Yeah, no.
Like, right?
Yeah.
So I knew look, I knew, because everybody was like, oh my God, she's just using you. I'm like, of course she is.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
no, but everyone...
Who wouldn't want a better life for them and their son?
Everyone uses everyone. Look, okay, let's just say you look like a male model and you live here, and then you date someone else who's a model. Well, it's still an aesthetic. I mean, it still looks like there's a money used, there's a look used. Yeah. I mean, you're using them for their aesthetic.
Yep.
That's a form of use. Like, everything's a form of use. Like, everybody who works for you is using you, and you're using them.
Yes.
They're here because they're getting paid. Yes. They wouldn't show up if you weren't paying them.
Right.
So it's like this, I think we break it down too far. I mean, I used to tell people all the time, like, that girl's only talking to you because you're on TV. I'd go, that's why I got on TV.
Right.
I mean, that's how it works. It makes it easier.
Right.
George Clooney's wife married him because he's George Clooney.
Yeah.
And then he married her because she's skinny and hot, and that's how the world works, and I think how it's always worked.
Yeah.
So you can't find that in San Diego, so you got to go across the street to the Philippines.
Yeah. But I had a lot of friends through my life that were just friends that are girls, but never wanted to, cross that romantic line. And then I would have my occasional, one night stands or whatever. But I just felt that because of her situation that, I could somehow trust her more, because I went through like everybody, I went through a bad divorce, and it messed me up. I was single for 28 years. I didn't want to be in an emotional relationship because it messed me up.
You have an acquired taste as far as an aesthetic goes.
Yes, sir.
A short neck.
Yes. What?
Ish, whatever.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 5 foot tall.
5 foot even.
5 foot even.
Yeah, and a stout and husky build.
Yes.
So, it's not exactly model material.
No. I used to be a buck. Mm-hmm. Like in high school, I looked like a young Eric Estrada.
Really?
Yeah, but that went away pretty quickly. Just because of life.
Eric Estrada was quite the heartthrob when he was in Chips, let me tell you.
Check out my high school picture. And people will comment, oh my God, what happened to you? I'm like, thanks. People can be really honest.
Yeah, people can be brutally honest, especially online.
Oh my God.
Because now you can say
anything you want.
Anything you want. I know, and some of it is unnecessary. Oh, young Eric Estrada, complete with the gold chain and the mustache and everything.
I was a young buck. Look at that. What happened?
Time catches up to all of us. I was just reading a comment. I don't know. I did a live show with Megyn Kelly, and somebody.
I love her.
She's great. Somebody commented like, it was a good interview, but Adam needs to stay on the radio. Why do we need to see him? I'm like, I don't know. I was interviewing Megyn Kelly. Sorry, they put a camera up. I don't know. There's a thing called YouTube. I don't know. Do you have to sit down and compose? Do you have to sit down and go, let's see, I enjoyed the interview, and I enjoyed listening to Megyn Kelly, and I like the comedy stylings of Adam Carolla, but why can't he stay locked in a windowless radio booth? Why do I have to look at him? Like, I'm going to write that as a heterosexual middle-aged guy so I can push it out to the universe. Which the other thing, too, it's always weird is, I'm a comedian. I don't bill myself as a runway model. I just go, I'm a comedian. So,
well, it's funny you should say that. I have always been self-conscious, and I know I'm overweight. And seeing yourself on TV was like, I'm like, scared the shit out of me. And my friends would joke with me like, oh, well, you guys, the camera adds 10 pounds. We're like, well, how many cameras were on you? I mean, that was the kind of the running joke. But I had to be okay with being okay. Like you, and obviously you're very comfortable in your own skin. And
no, I don't like the way I look either. But nobody. I don't know a lot of people that see themselves on TV and go, that's good. Everyone who sees themselves on TV goes, I don't like what I'm looking at. Yeah. But it's good. It's a little low self-esteem wired in there.
But if you see the women that I get to hang out with, like you get to hang out with Megyn Kelly, these are like like they're 12s. They're the most beautiful women, and they, Ed, why? I'm like, why not?
You get to hang out with 12s?
Yes.
Why?
Tomorrow night or tonight, I'm going on a blind date with she's a knockout.
Oh, all right. So sorry, we gotta go back in time. What happened with 90 Day Fiance? I know you went to the Philippines, hung out with the dad, and your potential fiance. How old was her son?
He was 5 at the time.
And how old was she at the time?
23.
And how old were you at the time?
43. No, pardon me, 53.
That's different. All right, 53. And what happened? I don't know how it culminated.
Okay, so I land. How detailed? So I land. I meet her. She's beautiful, but she had the worst smelling breath.
Oh, that Filipino sticky rice breath.
But you could no. It was worse than that. It was like you have no idea.
In fact, can be a thing.
I kept going. Hey, do you want some gum? She's like, no. I'm like, please. Like the cab ride to the hotel that night was almost unbearable. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just saying.
No, listen.
But I'm an American, right? And I'm going to a third world country, and I come from a city where women laser their bodies. Okay?
Yes.
They have dental implants. Here I'm in the Philippines, and that kind of blew me back a little bit. And the owners of the company told me, Ed, by the way, when you meet her, you'll know within 2 minutes whether it's going to work. And I kind of did. Like I kind of really knew within 3 minutes, this is going to be temporary. Like I don't. For some reason, even though she's beautiful,
breath is. It's hard to get around.
Yes, it's impossible.
I'm trying to think. I mean, okay, here's what I'm saying.
And how do you tell somebody that they have bad breath, Adam, without being mean?
I'd fantasized about a job where a person who doesn't belong to the organization or the office, there's no way involved at all, just shows up at everyone's office place and tells everybody all the shit that everyone else who works with them doesn't want to hear.
Right.
You got bad breath. You got swamp ass. You're always fucking late.
Yeah, kind of like The Office, right?
Yeah, you say you know what I mean all the time whenever you talk. Like I'd like to live in that world. The first thing you do, I think, is you approach it. I learned this from Dr. Drew. You approach it from a sort of medical concern.
Yeah.
Like you go, I was watching this thing on whatever Discovery, and they talked about the way a breath smelled. This also could mean there was a cancer or a disease or something like that. You should check into that or something like that. Now, is she brushing and flossing and stuff?
That's a backdoor approach. So here's what happened. She had a dental, like a implant that was removable, and she never knew to take it out and clean it. And the way I know that is about 2 weeks before I was going to go down there, I'm FaceTime with her, and she has her hand over her mouth. I'm like, what's going on? Did you get hurt?
Right.
And she said she lost her implant. So I knew she had one. So the minute I smelled it, I knew exactly what that was. They don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah.
To take that thing out and clean it. So
all right. So that was tough.
Yeah, that was tough. And then of course, we go back to the hotel and I ended up buying her some toothpaste and mouthwash, and the producer's like, well, you're going to give that to her. I'm like, is that a good idea? They're like, yeah, I think it'd be a nice thing to do. So I give her teddy, and she's like, what's a teddy? She didn't know what that was. Negligee and toothpaste. And I got killed. I got every feminist in the world coming after me like, you rotten American, how could you embarrass her? I'm like, I'm trying to save, like you just said, you can actually get heart disease from a tooth infection.
Plaque. Listen, okay, first things first, I don't know why women are allowed to critique men. Like, it is completely acceptable if they're going out for the banquet and the guy comes out and the woman goes, no, not that shirt. Go change your shirt. Go, come on now. I laid a shirt out for you. Okay, fine. We're being critiqued aesthetically. Why? I never got why that's not a two-way street.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or do I look fat in these jeans? No.
Right.
No way. No, you look amazing.
So you got destroyed online because you got her some crest.
Well, that's just the beginning. That's destroyment number one.
Did you guys make love?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Not what you expect.
Yeah.
You know, you see somebody and you build up in your
I
mind.
wonder what she expected.
Oh God, it was probably worse for her. I mean, I don't know.
That could have been.
I'm saying it probably was. I mean, I wouldn't sleep with me. I'm kidding. But yeah, so we the next day. Well, she had no clothes, right? She basically showed up in jeans and shorts. She didn't have any pajamas. I'm like, well, let me buy some pajamas. So they go, okay, let's go shopping.
How was her English?
Really good. Believe it or not, really good. A lot more people know English in the Philippines than you think.
All right, so her English was good, but she was so destitute that she didn't have pajamas?
She didn't have a job. She lived in a cement room in her sister's house with no indoor plumbing, with no door. There's no doors. Yeah.
No front door?
No front door. It was a bunch of CD cases tied together. It was like a
like a flap.
Yeah, like a flap.
Couldn't snakes and stuff get in there?
Oh, don't even. Probably rats.
Jesus Christ.
Probably slept with that rat I showed her with. I probably
What is
slept
going
on
over there?
It's crazy. So, anyways, and I'm going to talk good about her in a minute. So that happened, and then the next day, let's go shopping. They take me to a sweat market. It's 120 degrees. Okay, so I'm on camera. I get out of the cab, and I'm like sweating. And I go, you guys stop. I need to change my shirt. And they're like, no way.
That's too good.
We want to. I got it. Okay, they want to see me suffer.
Right.
And I did. And so we did that, and then from there, we went to the nail salon, and she had like 5,000 boyfriends on Facebook, wouldn't tell me about her past. So Cara from my showroom's like, because she's from the Philippines, she's like, you need to make sure that...
Back here in San Diego.
Yeah. She goes, you need to make sure, number one, Ed, that she takes an STD test. So what do? I ask her on camera, hey, I want you to take an STD test. Here we go again. Every feminist in the world's like, you disrespectful American going to a third world country. I'm like, I don't want to die.
Right.
I don't want to get a disease. I don't want to, you know what I mean? So it just kept happening and happening. And then there was the shower scene with the rats, and then there was the pig farm. I fell in the pig farm, and then I got attacked by monkeys and whatever. So, and it was crazy. And then we, people don't know this about the show, but she was actually, they're like, they knew it wasn't working out. And I told them, I go, look, I don't think this is going to work out. So
what makes, beside the breath?
Yeah. Well, she's like, I want more kids. I'm like, well, how many do you want? She's like, I don't know. She never answered that question. And I said, well, maybe one. I said, maybe one. But I don't think people realize how expensive it is to raise a child in America. It's very expensive. And
well, my parents did it for free, but I know what you're talking about. I spent a lot on my kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Rose thinking she needs dental work. I'm looking at her son. Oh my God, he needs at least 10 grand. So I'm looking
dental work.
Dental work. I'm like, oh my God.
Everyone there needs dental work.
Exactly. So if I'm going to bring them to the U.S., the last thing I want to do is start having more babies. Let's get settled and get a house and whatever.
Yeah, you're not a rich man.
No.
Has 90 Day Fiancé, are they paying okay?
They are. Most of my money I've made around the show. You heard of Cameo, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I was #1 in the world for a while.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, not the most expensive, but...
How much were you charging a Cameo?
I started at $25. I topped out at $150.
$150, but you're doing multiple ones a day.
I was doing 75 to 100 a day.
75 to 100 a day.
For 4 months straight.
75 to 100 a day. So at $100, that's 7,500 a day.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
I mean, some were a little cheaper, but sometimes you did more. But I mean, you're making 50 grand a week in Cameo, possibly.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, nuts. And they told me when the producers first showed up in San Diego, by the way, you're going to be known everywhere, and you think they're feeding you a line. And they weren't. Like, they weren't. They're like, I became... So, short story long, the show comes out. It didn't work out, obviously, with Rose. And so I come back to the Philippines.
Was she heartbroken?
I think she was financially heartbroken. I think she wanted the golden ticket.
She wanted, and by the way,
but
San Diego's beautiful.
Oh my God, yeah. So I think she was more heartbroken about that. So I come back alone, and I'm like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. I said I like The View, like I which by the way was the highest trending meme in the world for through COVID. And the way I acted, I just wasn't happy. So I just dug myself into work and just forgot about the show. Well, then you
don't think you came across well on camera?
I didn't like the way I looked.
Did they cook it, or did you just say stupid shit?
I didn't try to say. I had a producer tell me this. I went on. I think I was on my second or third season before the 90 day, and he's like, "Look, what made you famous is that you didn't know what you were doing. Like you weren't. You're just being who you were."
Right.
And by the way, so was Rose, and that's why Rose became such a phenomenon, because in the Philippines she's like, "This is my house.
Right.
This is my pig farm." She wasn't ashamed of who she was, and that made her an instant.
Did she get snapped up by somebody else?
Maybe. She was bisexual, which I didn't know. So she actually had on my way back from the Philippines, she was posting pictures of her and her girlfriend with matching watches or whatever. So I never was quite sure, I know she wanted to come to the Philippines, I know she wanted to come to America, for a better life. And I didn't tax her on that. I didn't hold that against her. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, that's why she's there.
Yeah, and for me, it's a financial responsibility that you take on, by the way, forever. When you bring someone here, the government is not going to pay for nothing.
Right.
Okay, they pay for everybody else, by the way, but they're not going to pay for you. Are financially responsible for that person. So that's a lot to take on. So that's the trade-off.
Right.
But so anyways, I buried myself in the work. The show comes out 6 months later. And the opening trailer went viral. I'm on my Vespa with my little dog Teddy, who I lost recently, or like 4 years ago. And he was in my backpack because there was no parking in Little Italy. And so I'd ride my Vespa every day with my dog. So the show sees that. They just told my story. This is everything you saw was kind of who I was and what I did. And I also, I dabbled in a little bit of not boudoir photography, but it was very, risque kind of sort of thing. But yeah, the show came out, and then COVID hit, and there was nothing on TV, and the show went viral. I mean, I was known in 166 countries. I was dubbed. If you ever heard me talk in Portuguese, I sound like a Russian mafioso.
But did the American women start coming out of the woodwork after the fame hit?
Everyone. I went from 350 followers to 250,000 overnight, and then at my top, I think I was over 800 on Instagram.
So what's your status now?
Now I'm still single and lonely. I'm kidding. I'm at about 6 on Instagram. I'm killing it on TikTok.
Are you single person now?
Yeah, I'm single.
But you don't want to be single.
I want the right single. I mean, I want the right person.
Well, so you want a certain aesthetic.
Yes.
Well, look, I'm with you. Yeah. When I was younger, I wanted to date a model. Yeah. But I was driving a Isuzu Trooper, and I had 3 roommates, and I made $14 an hour on a construction site, so I didn't get any. Here's the answer. I did get models. I had to wait 2 years in between model years. You know what I mean? So I just waited.
Yeah.
I knew guys that just bring home somebody every night, but I wasn't interested. I wanted to wait it out. So you're picky. So now you got to wait.
Yeah.
But now the problem is you're not going to leave the country anymore. So you got to find a domestic model for you.
Yeah.
And that could be a waiting game.
Yeah. So somebody with poor vision and low standards. So here's the rub. If you're a single guy my age, I'm 60, and my mind is not 60. My body and the way I look is a 60-year-old body. But my mind, I got married young. She was beautiful. It ended. I was single for so long because I was a single parent, and I was 100% single parent. Like I was not going to introduce someone to my daughter and have her have to compete for my attention. So I remained single for a reason. But then at 17, she's like, "Hey, I have a football game on Friday." I'm like, "Cool, I'm excited. I love football." "No, Dad, I have a football game." So she basically kind of broke up with me. So now I'm 38, 39. I'm single. I still want to go back to the person I fell in love. Like I want a young woman. Once it was too late. Like, you know what I mean? But your mind, even today, my mind is still like, I want to meet an attractive 35 to 38-year-old, ish.
Yeah, well, listen, reality on reality's terms, as Dr. Drew always says.
Yeah. But hold on a second. Look at Billy Bob Thornton, who is my idol.
Yeah.
How in the hell did he pull? And I mean, when I saw that,
because he's Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. And so I want to be Billy Bob Thornton.
No, I know, but
or Danny DeVito.
Well, here's the all right. That's a little more realistic. I would say, look, here's the thing. You will get what the market allows. Now, everybody wants a hot 38-year-old when they're 60, but that's rich 60-year-old guys or George Clooney looking 60-year-old guys. That's not you.
No.
So the problem is you got to adjust just like you got to adjust the car you drive. I mean, you go, I would like a Bentley. Okay, so would everybody.
Right.
Now, how much you make a year? $41,000 a year. Okay, no Bentley for you, but I want a Bentley. Well, we just did the math. So here's the deal. You can be carless for long periods of time, or you can go, you know what? There's a Prius over there, formerly owned. It's only 3 years old. It's in decent enough shape. And the guy took care of it, non-smoker. I need transportation. And you learn to love the Prius. That's what I'm saying. Or you just get in some sort of Bentley fantasy, and you end up taking the bus or your Vespa everywhere.
So I've actually kind of I'm looking for someone that at my age is going to be an asset, because I'm the type of guy that I'm going to find somebody and rescue them and fix them. My last relationship with Liz, I tried that, it backfired. So I learned the hard way. You can't fix people. Number one. Number two, you have to let them be who they are. And but at the same time, they have to let me be who I am. And who I am is this, 60-year-old with a 13-year-old. Like I spend more money on toys on TikTok every day. I spend my money on things that like a normal adult wouldn't do, and it's almost like I'm refusing to want to grow up. Like I don't want to be 60. I don't want to drink Chardonnay and read a book and fall asleep at 8:00 at night. That's not me.
Yeah, well,
and I don't
there's plenty of those guys.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with them at all. But I have nothing in common. I feel, Adam, with anybody my age. Like, I know that sounds, weird.
No, I get it.
But look at me. Like I shower with rats. I'm on TV, and I'm a celebrity. I have to admit that. I have to finally admit I'm a celebrity, and people want to hang out with the person that I created, the Big Ed. They don't want to hang out with me, right?
Well, I want to give your wine a plug. By the way.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because we got to roll in some news in a second here. But the Big Ed Malbec, it is available soon on Amazon, right?
Yep.
And now certain places you can get it. You can California and Florida, Arkansas, I guess.
Walmart's in Arkansas, Florida, and California.
And you can go to Top Shelf Wine and plus spirits.com. Sorry, somebody wrote this in secondhand and it's sloppy.
You guys, 88spirits.com. I think Top Shelf.
Well, Big Ed, we'll take a break. We got to do some news, but come back anytime. This is a fun conversation.
I love it. Let's do it.
Thank you. American financing. Well, let's be honest. The math is not adding up in this economy. Even if you have a job, most families are being forced to rely on high-interest credit cards to cover expenses. If you're a homeowner caught in that cycle, you deserve some relief. Right now, my friends at American Financing are helping homeowners pay off high-interest debt at rates in the low fives. On average, they're saving their customers $800 a month. Start today. You might delay the next 2 mortgage payments. There are no upfront fees or obligations to find out how much you can save. America's home for home loans is American Financing. Am I right, Dawson?
America's home for home loans is American Financing. 866-889-5154. That's 866-889-5154. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Adam.
Well, do you love stories of myth and legend? Good, listen up. Before Camelot and The Crown, the Pendragon cycle, Rise of the Merlin, tells the origin story. Watch a legend that shaped Britain in a 7-episode cinematic epic. This isn't a retelling of the King Arthur story. This is the rise of the world that made Arthur possible. The Pendragon cycle, Rise of the Merlin, streaming now on Daily Wire Plus. Shot across multiple international locations and years in the making. This brings myth to life. It has amazing production value, full-scale battles, and a sweeping original orchestral score. At its core, this is a return to classic epic storytelling. A story where faith, prophecy, and sacrifice truly matter. Stream the Pendragon cycle, Rise of the Merlin, now, only on Daily Wire Plus.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Ace Man, what do you think ever happened to the barefoot kicker, punter, place kicker, whatever? I mean, it seems like a bygone era. But I miss those guys coming out in their barefoot in the snow, kicking a rock-hard football. Different times, Ace Man. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, we came a long way in kicking. We had a kicking shoe back in the day, which is a blunt-tipped kicking shoe they used to wear, and they do straight-on kicking. And then at some point they went barefoot, which is the opposite of one of those kicking shoes, which is flat in the front, like weighted and everything. And now we're back to just shoes. I think shoe technology and the sort of sidewinder soccer stuff ended up, but we have brought back the coffin corner. I've been complaining what happened to the coffin corner with the punters. We took 2 decades off of the coffin corner, putting it out on the 4-yard line out of bounds. We decided to try to float it to the 3, but the ball would bounce and go into the end zone every time. I don't know how much of this you heard, Dawson, but every single goddamn football season, I'd be yelling, coffin corner, put it in the corner, put it in the corner. No return, out of bounds on the 4-yard line, and now it's back.
Now, Alicia is totally clear on coffin's corner, but for everyone else, what is that?
Hit it out of bounds in the corner.
Thanks for covering me there, Dawson.
Sorry. No. I said instead of float it and try to drop it inside the 5, kick it out at the 4. It's just a much easier way to do it.
I enjoy watching sports, but I don't know anything about those types of things.
There was a trend
called
the coffin corner. Maybe Ray Guy came up with it. I don't know. But there was a coffin corner, and then it went for like 15 years. And people thought, instead of do that, I'll just kick it real high, and it'll land on the 3-yard line. And then they'll scamper into the end zone, and then they'll get a touchback. But if you fucking kick it out of bounds, they'll get on the 7-yard line, and it will never go into the end zone, you fucking idiots. And now they do it. Anyway, sorry.
Did the Patriots do that over the weekend?
They did a lot of punting, but they never really crossed the 50-yard line, so they couldn't go for the coffin corner.
Such a boring game.
You got to be on the happy side of the 50-yard line to go for the coffin corner, because the ball... It only travels so far, so you can't kick it out of bounds on the 31.
So since we're going through all these sports ball things, is there, when it comes to football, when you're like completely shaded and in a huge stadium like that, is there anything to, I get that there's something to being like, we want to go first, we want to go second, like if there's overtime, yada, yada. But is there anything to picking which side of the field matters? Like, does that really matter?
Well, if there's, you know what, when I was a captain and I played football, and we're going out for the coin toss, and you got to pick your side, which you only pick if you lose, because if you win, the other side goes, we'll take the ball.
Yeah.
But then you pick your side. Just reach down and you pull up a little grass and you just sort of toss it in the air and you see which way it goes. And
so
if there's any wind
matter?
going, you would go, if it went that way, you'd go, all right, we're going with the wind. So little grass, a little sun, depending on some
that's what I'm
stadiums
saying. Yeah.
as well.
I could see the sun.
All right. What do you got in the news department?
We have some really sad news, especially for my millennial generation and his wife and 6 children. James Vanderbeek, only 48 years old, after a multi-year battle with cancer, has now died.
Oh, he's a good dude. Yeah.
His wife, Kimberly, released a statement saying that they'll share more at a later date, but that he went peacefully and just talked about the sacredness of kind of like things at the end. He had looked really ill more recently on his social media. They moved from the LA area to, I think, the Austin area during COVID and were like living on a farm. I don't know if they're homeschooling. And
Is Dawson's Creek his biggest thing?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, but I'm a big Varsity Blues guy.
He did do Varsity Blues, but I feel like Dawson's Creek, at least for millennial moms like myself, like that was a thing.
Well, I starred in episodes. So
I heard that you and Dr. Drew starred as yourselves.
He was there sometimes, but I was really kind of the thing there. Yeah.
Wow, there you are.
Yeah, me and Dr. Drew. Dawson's Creek. Yeah, James was a good dude. I didn't know him well. I remember playing a Dodger All-Star celebrity game with him, and he made a great catch in the outfield, going, up, home runs, stealing, speaking of sports and all that. It was like an athletic guy. Seemed like a really good dude.
I mean, it's LA, so it's a small world, and I had some interactions with him and his wife and their kids, and it just seemed like he was such like a dedicated dad.
Yes.
And like, I think that's one of the most important jobs in the world. And it's just 48, too young, too soon. Cancer sucks.
Yeah. All right.
All right, now on to politics.
I wanted to play something, actually.
Oh, really?
Andrew, I don't know if you have it, that Swalwell ice tape thing. Eric Swalwell wants to be governor of California, and I get why, but do we have to have just the worst of the worst with everything? I mean, like, they're guys, you can go, well, Shapiro in Pennsylvania, that seems like a moderate, Democrat or whatever, but we got to get the Nancy Pelosi's and the Gavin Newsoms and the Maxine Waters and all the Swalwells and all the
Adam Schiffs.
All the the nuttiest and the worst and the most arrogant with the most attitude who do the least.
Yeah. This guy.
Swalwell wants to run for governor, and he was trying to go at it with one of the lead guys from ICE. His name escapes, and we'll put it on the thing. But let's hear it. Sorry, it's great.
With a woman who works as a cashier at a grocery store, and I told her I was coming to see you.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on.
Lies.
Okay.
Lies.
First things first.
Lies.
I love the story. A 9-year-old came up to me with tears in his eyes, and he said, "Where's Papa?" And I said, "He's in a cage in Honduras." Like, I love I love the bullshit tear jerk stories. And by the way, I don't know when the left turned into a telenovela, but everything is just a sad story about a woman with honor and living in dignity. It's like, listen, there's just fucking illegal people here.
Also,
you want to get rid of them. And by the way, their whole thing was, all right, we have to defund ICE, right?
Yes.
We got to boycott ICE. We got to abolish ICE.
To unmask camera,
okay.
all the things with ICE. Yes.
Here's a thought experiment. You want to abolish ICE? We just lived through 4 years of no ICE. We abolished ICE for 4 years. The whole time Biden was president, we had no ICE. Did you hear any ICE stories for 4 fucking years? So we did an experiment. We abolished ICE and we opened the border. And then we got 14 million people here, and now we have to go sort them out and fix it. But we already abolished ICE. It was called the Biden administration, and there was no ICE presence, and there was no border presence. So you got your wish, and it didn't work. We tried defunding the police. Now we're going to defund ICE, but we already tried it. It was 4 years of Biden, and the place is fucking flooded with criminals now.
What's fascinating, though, is even though all of that is true, it's yes and Biden deported more illegal immigrants than Trump has done so far.
Yes, and
so
then
it's like heaven forbid, and there's no but here's why I call BS on this, though.
Hold on, let's hear the story.
You want to hear the story?
Yes, just go back 10 seconds and we'll play it. Sorry.
A couple nights ago, I met with a woman who works as a cashier at a grocery store, and I told her I was coming to see you, Mr. Lyons, and she said, will you ask him, and she didn't want to give her name. She was terrified to give her name.
Yeah.
So she said, when I get off my shift around midnight and I walk through the parking lot to my car, she said, if somebody rolls up in an unidentified van and gets out wearing all black and their face is covered,
all right,
they don't
pause
have
it for a second. First off, I was thinking about it. The unmarked van. It's all unmarked van. It's like panel vans, primer with no license plate. Aren't they renting SUVs? Aren't they fucking in Ford Explorers everywhere? Like, as I've seen tons and tons and tons of footage of assholes throwing bricks and frozen water bottles at cars and pulling off and kicking in the side. Are they unmarked vans? Because I'm seeing SUVs. I know you like the theme of the unmarked van.
Of the predatory behavior.
Right, but
of
think
ICE
about
officers.
all the footage you see out of Minneapolis when the guy, Preddy, who when he kicked the taillight.
Ford Explorer, you're
was
right.
that an unmarked van? Or was it a fucking SUV like your mama has? Fucking idiots. It's like, where are they? You show me the footage of the unmarked vans, because every time somebody, whether you take the two people who died, you take like Preddy and then you take Good, there's SUVs parked all around. There's not unmarked vans.
Way at the beginning, and this wasn't an ICE thing, I think it was a national security thing with Homeland Security Department working with Secretary State Rubio, when Rubio started to rescind the visas of like people that were pro-terrorist organizations.
Yes.
There might have been a person that was put in an unmarked van by masked officers.
But they're gone. So it's not unmarked vans. So fuck off. But anyway, and she doesn't want to give her name to Swalwell. She's scared of Swalwell?
I don't even
What if
think
she
knew
gave her
who he was.
My name is
I think this is
Dolores
all made up.
Montenegro, but don't say anything to Congress? Like, too scared. I love it when they're talking to the little people, too. I was at the bodega, and I was helping her mop at the end of the night, and she told me. All right, so she's scared at night to go into the parking lot. I would be, too, if I was living in California. I was in San Francisco.
I just thought it was more like as a woman.
As a woman, I would be scared living in
to be walking
California or
anywhere at midnight.
anywhere in LA to walk at midnight out to the parking lot. But okay, she's scared because, well, roll it back 10 seconds. Guys dressed, I always like it too. They're just dressed in all black. So did you guys know that the ICE officers dressed like ninjas who just dropped out from the sky? All right, here we go.
Didn't want to give her name. She was terrified to give her name. But she said, when I get off my shift around midnight and I walk through the parking lot to my car, she said, if somebody rolls up in an unidentified van and gets out wearing all black and their face is covered and they don't have any identification and they ask me to get into the van, how do I know who they are? How does she know, Mr. Lyons? How does she know if they're an ICE agent or bad guys?
All right, pause it for a second. What's going on with the bizarre fantasy of the kicking in the doors and pointing at people look different than we like? What? First off, sorry, Alicia Krause. Chick think, crazy chick think. Anyone's ever had a woman tell a story for a third time and just stick with it, and you have to go, "That's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. That's not what's going on." It's like, nope. I got a theme, and I'm sticking with my theme. Yes, you're making up something that completely and utterly does not exist.
Does not happen. It's also funny. He's like, how is she supposed to know if they're ICE or bad guys? But the left has been telling us for months on end now that ICE are bad guys.
Right. So
They're
there
the
are bad guys. The Gestapo. The Gestapo. All right. So okay. Well, all right. He's going to explain. They have badges and patches.
How does she know, Mr. Lyons? How does she know if they're an ICE agent or bad guys?
Sir, ICE agents have identifiable placards on their uniforms as well as their badges representative, but you won't see ICE agents rolling through the parking lots and just snatching someone up. ICE does intelligence-driven, targeted enforcement operations.
Well, Mr. Holman,
hold on. I wonder if Savannah Guthrie's mom thought that was ICE breaking into their house. I mean, just a guy wearing dark clothes could have been ICE.
I mean, they are breaking down doors, we've heard.
Yeah, I mean, well, by the way, it'll be a bad guy if you get pistol whipped and he steals your purse.
Yes.
That's how you know. But yes, guys, as far as I can tell, all the footage. Well, here's
It's also all happened during the day.
Here's a thought experiment. All the asshole Karens in Minneapolis and all the fucking boys with the buns who are attacking ICE, how do they know they're ICE? How do they know they're not Antifa? Antifa dresses all in black and shows up to these events.
And also covers their faces.
Right. So how do all the assholes in Minneapolis and LA who are attacking ICE know they're attacking the right group? Is it perhaps because they have big markings that say ICE on their uniform? Because if they weren't, and we weren't able to distinguish between the two, then you wouldn't know if you're attacking Antifa or ninjas. Is anyone, when the Preddy guy kicked the SUV, how did he know who was in the SUV? Could have been an Antifa mobile.
Also surveillance. So ICE is doing surveillance. The radical left is doing surveillance.
All right. Swalwell's such a fucking douche. And I don't know why.
I don't even believe him.
I don't believe him at all. But that's the scarier part.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. Maybe I'm an asshole. When women do this, I kind of go, all right, little theater. When guys do it, I go, what a pussy. What a pussy. And for me, I would rather deal with a violent alcoholic dude than a pussy. Pussies are the worst dudes. They're the fucking worst. And Swalwell's a pussy, and this is a puss move right here.
I just feel like I don't believe him because even though he's a pretty decently known name within the state of California, or if you're a hardcore news nerd, right? You are out in public all the time. You get recognized.
Yeah.
But you don't get recognized every other person that you see or meet.
No.
This guy, nobody knows who the hell he is. If he's at a grocery store and he's meeting with a cashier,
Mr.
like the lady at
Swalwell.
the cash register
Swalwell.
is not going to see him in plain clothes and be like, "Oh my God, you're my representative, and I know you're interviewing Mr. Lyons, the head of ICE. Could you please tell him this for me?" I call bullshit. That's all.
My name is Dolores, and I work here from 4 a.m. to midnight. And I work at this bodega, and I bag mangoes. And I'm scared because I'm the provider for my family. I'm the breadwinner. Well, we don't buy bread, we buy tortillas. But Mrs. Swalwell,
Bet
please
you should make
help.
some, actually.
Please help. You're going to meet the deputy director of ICE, Rick Solomon. What's his name?
Right.
You know that guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I watch C-SPAN all the time. I recognize you. Please, don't tell him my name. I'm here legally and I have all my paperwork in order. But I'm still scared to walk out to my Tercel every night. Not because of the crime that's rampant in the city. You're doing a fine job. But because the ICE people, because I found out that a lot of them sit in the parking lot at midnight and just wait for people to leave.
I would ask Swalwell what city that was in, because he represents a small part of the East Bay area where I grew up.
Yeah.
I don't think he was at Safeway.
No. Mr. Swalwell.
Just saying.
Please.
More like an Erewhon.
Oh, we have the video of him asking Lyons to resign.
Oh, gosh.
But again, more just retarded grandstanding.
Supposed to protect, or will you side with the killers bringing terror to our streets? Mr. Lyons, will you resign from ICE?
No, sir, I won't.
Why not?
Because, sir, that child that you're showing right there, the men and women of ICE took care of him when his father abandoned him and ran from law enforcement.
Time has expired.
You never should have gone into
Time has expired.
They're showing the picture of the kid that was being
5-year-old.
helped by ICE because his dad fled. I don't, whether it's the good people on both sides or in Jack Bleach or something with Hunter Biden's laptop, can you guys just let shit go once you've been proven wrong, or are we just going to keep going? With
Because
this?
it's a
ICE has taken care of more children than Somali daycares.
That's a good point.
The count is at 1.
Yes, but it's still more.
It's still more.
Still 100% more.
Oh, Lord.
All right, let's do one one story, another story.
One story? All right. Let's talk about how Chris Cuomo is begging Democrats to not impeach Trump again. I actually agree.
I just talked to Chris Cuomo.
You did?
Yeah.
Did he bring this up with you?
No, he was. He was talking about the Epstein files, which is like, I literally go, I have an opinion on everything.
Except that.
I have no idea what's going on with that. But I have an opinion on you name me 10 types of bagels. I will have 10 different opinions, but I don't have any
Everything
I don't
bagel.
have any Epstein. Yeah. Ugh. All right, go ahead.
All right. So News Nation anchor Chris Cuomo called on Democrats to resist the temptation to impeach President Donald Trump if they win control of either the House or the Senate in the fast approaching 2026 midterm elections. Obviously, Trump is almost a lame duck. I think he's saying like, this isn't going to be good for you, but he also said it's not going to be good for the country. I mean, last time they impeached Trump, his approval ratings went up. When Republicans impeached Clinton, his approval ratings went up. Like, it kind of, no matter who's in power, they're able to somehow like come out in popularity when you impeach them. I don't think it's a smart political move.
Agreed. But also, we have a country that thinks the following. If you prosecute somebody and if you use the court to mete out justice to a person that is truly guilty, we like it. Mm-hmm. If you use it against someone we don't really think is guilty of doing anything, we hate it more than we like the happy side of it. So we have a reaction like, if a guy is accused of murder and he murdered someone, I go, now he's got 100 years. I go, good. But if they try to pull somebody into court because they were 100 feet away from an abortion clinic and they were praying and she's 72-year-old asthmatic mom and we try to fucking railroad her, we get pissed.
We're like that seems
that's
unjust.
Bullshit. And by the way, we feel the same way with the 17-year-old black kid who's accused of murder and never did anything in Mississippi or something. We don't like that more than we like the justice part for the guilty person. So if you're going to try to haul Trump into whatever and the stuff is kind of light, like he lied on his real estate thing, like that kind of stuff, that pisses off most Americans. Mm-hmm. Look at as if you abusing your power and it will backfire. So my thing with if you got something good on Trump, do it.
Yep.
But you never do, and that's why it backfires on you.
100%. And I think it's also it's too confusing.
Yes.
Like the murder case,
right.
The kidnapping case, the heaven forbid, rape case. It's cut and dry evidence, jury, tried by 12. Mm-hmm. When it's impeachment, Russiagate, he was friends with Epstein. He lied on his tax returns. He took money from so-and-so. Did he or did he not pay off somebody? It's so confusing because there's so many details to it that the average person, I think, loses interest because they're confused by it.
Well, also, when you take Mar-a-Lago and you value it at $18 million...
And the place next to it is worth $80 million.
And it's a vacant lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's 1/3 the size.
Yeah.
And there's medium-sized places in Malibu for $18 million. That's insane.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to think that this is sort of cooked, and we really don't like it as Americans.
Yes.
And so my whole thing with any prosecution would be do it if you got something, but if you don't, be prepared because A, you're not going to pull it off, and then B, it's going to backfire on you. All right, what else do we got?
So this is interesting. I have a personal question to ask you. You ever tried drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not. The only thing I do is imbibe in alcohol and every once in a while a cigarette in Spain. But apparently 20 million Americans.
You named your back patio Spain.
Yeah, exactly.
It turns into Spain
Mom's night out is Madrid.
After the kids go to bed, the back patio gets dubbed Spain.
That's where mommy and daddy go to have a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 20 million Americans say they're always high. And even liberals recognize that this craze has gone way too far.
Listen, everybody, it's not good for you.
No.
And what we did with pot is we gave it magical powers because we made it evil. And when you make something evil, then you kind of turn them into a folk hero. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem with making something evil. You turn it into something it isn't. Pot is a drug. It alters you. Mm-hmm. Look, here's the thing, everyone. You're either altered or you're not altered. I mean, you can call it cocaine alters you, speed alters you, pot alters you. Coffee alters you.
'Tis true.
A lesser degree. A glass of red wine will alter you. A bottle of red wine alters you more. So it's all just a state of alteration. I had to do a bunch of shows in Florida the other week. We had a 6:30 flight out of Florida. Our hotel is a half hour from the airport. My last show finished at midnight at the club. There was a rental car to drop off and a merch bag to check. I went to bed about 1:30, and
you got a little power nap. That's what you're saying.
I went to bed at 1:30, and I got up around 4:15, and I met Rudy down the lobby at 4:50, and we went to the airport. I was altered. I did not imbibe anything. I was altered. I was altered more than you are on one glass of wine. The more time you spend in an altered state as a human being, usually the worse sort of condition you're in. And I get sleep deprivation is horrible for you.
They say it's almost as dangerous as drunk driving. Like driving tired, like on sleep deprivation. Is almost as dangerous as being a drunk driver.
Or obviously depends how much you drank and how much you didn't sleep and who you are and what your constitution is. But the point is pot alters you. It is not good for you. We turned it into sort of a folk movement. It's not. It sort of reminds me of one of these like civil rights leaders from the 60s where it's like, she blew up a bank and then moved to Cuba. Let's put her on a postage stamp. Like, nope, she's a felon and she's a bad person. Let's not turn her into Billy fucking Jack. And that's what we did with pot. We turned it into Billy Jack. It's not good for kids. Especially not for kids. And it's much more potent than it ever was.
So that's a big thing. The New York Times a while ago, their podcast, The Daily over there, sometimes they do decent deep dives despite being incredibly liberal. And they were talking to scientists, pot growers, companies, users, just how different the strains are now compared to the past. In the past, it used to be like, I don't know, my dad, it's public information, used to, guard the green tops in southeastern Oklahoma.
Really?
Get a little extra cash on the side in high school. It's so different from that. That's like dried and rolled and smoked with your buddies versus it's in gummies. It's in, like, they have all different kinds. There's pills, there's drinks, there's food.
Here's what a fantastic job they've done ruining the brains of dumb shits in mostly, for sure in California, but mostly liberal dumb shits. Almost every mother, if you spoke to every single mother in Santa Monica and you said, you get a choice for your son, cigarette smoker, pot smoker, they'd all take pot smoking.
Really?
Oh, yes. Over cigarette smoking?
You think they would? I don't know. I think that, maybe the dumb liberal moms would.
All right. Well, I'll give you the groundling speech after the show. But
sorry.
Yes, they all would prefer cigarette, like pot over cigarettes.
Lung cancer.
Cigarettes have been demonized. Pot has not been demonized. Pot has been praised, and cigarettes have been demonized. You can't smoke. By the way, you can smoke pot more places than you can smoke cigarettes.
Yes, 'tis true. 100%.
Right. Okay.
You can smoke pot in more places than you can bring a dog.
More people, well, I don't know about dog. You can't smoke a cigarette anywhere. You can bring your dog everywhere and you can smoke pot everywhere, which is part of the demise of this country. But the point is pot is bad for you. It scrambles your kid's brain. And everyone in California would rather their kids smoke pot than smoke cigarettes. Yeah. And that means that pot has a publicist. Pot did a very good job of pushing itself, and people don't even think it's bad. And by the way, I'll talk to people. I know people that eat gummies and eat edibles and smoke pot, and if I have a fucking glass of wine, they're like, "Hey, bro, you better watch it." And it's like, you're fucking high right now.
Yep.
You're high right now. Why is it okay for you to be gobbling up your gummies, but I can't have my highball? Like, what's the fucking difference? We're both getting altered. That's what I'm saying.
This is where I'm okay with the self-driving cars and the Waymos because I think that people in an altered state from pot, I know they've tried to make an argument that it's the same thing as alcohol. I don't agree. Especially the long-term consequences of it. I do not agree.
You do not agree with which part?
That alcohol is just as bad as pot.
No.
I think specifically with young men whose prefrontal cortex have not formed, the consistent ingestion of pot is so bad. And like you said, it's altering.
The people I know that are really into pot have difficulty. I'll put it to you that way, even when they're not high. And also, the other thing about pot is I don't know people who will drink and drive, but I do know people who will eat pot and drive. For sure.
Yeah.
They don't even think that's bad or wrong, by the way.
And then really bad things can come of it.
Yes. So 20 million
Americans say that they are always high.
Yeah. Always high.
Always high.
That's the other thing, too, is people do not wake and bake with booze. Oh, okay. All right. All right. We should wrap this up because we got even more guests to get to.
Oh, fun.
Nice job. We'll be right back right after this. Sheath. It's simple. Sheath underwear makes the most comfortable briefs I've ever owned. I'm wearing them right now. That's right. Almost every time I'm filming this podcast, I'm wearing them, certainly up on stage where you got to be comfortable for an hour and a half. They have moisture wicking technology that keeps everything cool and everything comfortable. They're good for when I'm getting stuff done around the house, but also good for just hanging out. It's their dual pouch technology that really makes the difference. It keeps everything separated down there and thus cooler and more comfortable. I wish someone thought of this when I was doing 10 hours of radio back in the day. Could have been a little more comfortable. Sheath also now has bamboo shirts and hoodies, all designed for maximum comfort. Am I right, Dawson?
Go to sheath.com now and use the promo code ADAM to receive 20% off today. That's sheath.com and use the promo code 80AM for 20% off. Sheath, underwear of legends.
At Pluto TV, we're celebrating Black History Month with our free curated collection of Black entertainment.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Catch award-winning films like Dreamgirls, Monsters Ball, and Selma.
We must make a massive demonstration.
Iconic hits like School Days and Set It Off. Plus full seasons of shows like Tyler Perry's Sisters and Power.
I got you.
It's star-studded brilliant Black entertainment, and it's all free.
It's getting good.
This month and always on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
It's time for Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
You're gonna eat lightning, you're gonna crack thunder.
If you said Rocky 2.
You're gonna eat lightning, you're gonna crack thunder.
You're correct. Now, back to the show.
Dan and Pat Kinane are on. They're filmmakers. Solo Mio is the name of the movie, out as we speak. Angel Studios, my good friends over there, are the ones doing the distribution. Kevin James stars in this one, as well as many others. Good to see you guys.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having us. Yeah, thank you.
I've watched some of your Kevin James Sound Guy shorts, which are super funny and get tons and tons of traction on the internet. I was just watching the No Country for Old Men one. I think it had like 12 million views or something. But and I don't know, I feel like we should play one. But let's describe it. You take a scene from a movie, and Kevin James is the sound guy with the boom mic.
Yeah.
And you insert him into the movie as if they're just talking to the celeb in a sort of ingenious way. But how did that come about, and how did the Kevin James thing come about?
So we were, Kevin was shooting a Netflix sitcom right before COVID. It was called The Crew. So we were down there just to do YouTube, social media, kind of, try to, pump up his social media presence. And so while he was doing table reads, writing, and all this stuff, we were like off on our own in another office somewhere on what was it, Gold Coast Studios, Long Island, yeah. And we were just thinking of like we need like some sort of long format that we can like always rely on. Like what's something we can like turn into a series? And we had a bunch of different ideas, but I came up with the idea of like, oh, it'd be funny if like he was this sound operator on all these famous movie sets, and we just plug him in. My brothers, John and Pete, they're really good. They're really, savvy when it comes to like, the superimposing, and I think they taught themselves off of YouTube. Anyways, so we're like, oh, let's just like shoot this and show Kevin and see what he thinks. And we showed Kevin. I think we call it like comping. We would comp stuff. Yeah, we go out and test stuff to show him. Like sometimes instead of pitching an idea, we would go and shoot it ourselves and edit it. And so I think Rocky, the one where he's in the Rocky movie, was one of the first ones we did for him, and we showed it to him, and he just was like, I loved it. He's like, I can do 1 million of these. Yeah. So that's how it came about.
Do you guys have a personal favorite from the series?
I do. I love the Good Will Hunting.
Oh, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, that's my personal favorite.
We got
sneaky favorite.
We got Star Wars. We got Braveheart. No, it's great. What you want is a format and an idea that's got legs, and you're only limited by the 10,000 iconic movies that he could go into. So that part's easy, and then the formats. Yeah. The format's fun. And then there's another part, which is it has to be sort of satisfying to watch. Right. And the satisfying part, that's just, we'll know when we see it. You know, all your good ideas, so many times you actually produce it and you just go, nah, not how I thought it would be.
Yeah. That's classic.
Oh, we had lots of those too. Even with Sound Guy, we shot a bunch that no one's ever going to see. Because you think it's a good idea, you go out, you do it, you shoot it, you edit it, and then
actually, yeah, I got to change my favorite. It was it was one that never got released. We actually never shot it. It was Titanic, the drawing scene, where the boom dips down right in front of Kate Winslet.
For obvious reasons, we couldn't post that.
We have the Good Will Hunting one. They're about a minute long. I guess we'll put them on our YouTube page. You can watch that. How does it work in terms of YouTube and clearance and movies, and does it fall under some sort of fair use thing?
Yeah, I think it's fair use and parody. Yeah, what we understood it as. Yeah, because if you cut it up enough and change it enough, you can get away with it. As far as I understand.
It's always funny with the parody and the fair use stuff. Is whenever you say to someone, "Well, how long can you?" They go, no one knows. There is no answer. Yeah. There is. It's like the whatever commission in the 70s. Like, what is pornography? We'll know it when we see it. And then at some point, when you're talking to your fair use guy, they always add the caveat, which is, well, they can sue you anyway. Like, it really doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong. It just matters of how litigious they are. All right. So this is the late great Robin Williams, and the conceit is like the sound guy, they're on the set, but they're not filming. It's like in between takes, right?
Yeah, right. Yes.
All right, so here it is.
When she was nervous. She had all sorts of wonderful idiosyncrasies.
He is holding the boom up on this one. Sorry.
Yes. So they're all kind of different. Right. Yeah, each one's different. The real thing was just what's the best way to implement him into the scene. Yeah. So a lot of times it's happening as the scene is playing.
Sorry, here it is.
My wife used to fart when she was nervous. She had all sorts of wonderful idiosyncrasies. She used to fart in her sleep. I'm sorry I shared that with you. One night it was so loud it woke the dog up. She woke up and got like, "Oh, was that you?" I said, "Yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell." Oh, God. She woke herself up.
And cut. Oh, that was great stuff. Awesome, Mr. Williams. Oh, Mr. Damon. That was fantastic. You guys are amazing. Dude, hold up, everybody.
You didn't have it on.
I wasn't recording on that. I'm so.
You're kidding.
I'm so sorry. I thought I hit the button. I didn't.
This is a f***ing joke.
Is there any way we could?
Oh my God! And who are these?
Could you just do that again? Can we get one more on
I
that?
want to hear that. Tell me you want to hear that.
I'm such an idiot. This is totally my fault. Everybody, can we get one? Is it one more possible?
I don't blame you. It's not about you, you dick. It's about the boy. He's a good kid, and I won't see you f him up like you're trying to f up me right now.
A lot of that stuff goes back a long way between me and him. You know, not about you. This is not your fault.
That's amazing visually.
My fault.
Look at me, son. It's not your fault.
It is. Who else is going to press record?
It's not your fault.
It is. It's my fault. It's totally my fault.
No, you don't. It's not your fault.
I'm telling you, it is. I wish it wasn't. We're here, aren't we?
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
This technology's incredible, man.
It's not your fault.
He's wearing MMA gloves.
It's not your fault.
That's actually my head. That's my body.
I'm sure this one is a human being with the hug. Wow. How do you do the backgrounds?
Oh, that's all green screen. All green screen, yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of as I think about it, it's kind of the inverse of an early version of this, which was, well, you guys have done some work with Adam Sandler. It's the one where George C. Scott is watching the Adam Sandler movie. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I haven't.
It is so. You guys of all people will love this. So there was a movie called Hardcore, which was one of those real 70s gritty movies. Like we made really, you guys are too young, but like a lot of those Dog Day Afternoons and just a lot of those mid-early 70s movies were really weird. They looked smoggy and gritty and dirty, and it was like New York and garbage everywhere and tenement slums, like abandoned buildings and stuff. And it was real Taxi Driver kind of stuff. Like like you want to take a shower after the movie. And Hardcore was a George C. Scott movie where his daughter came out to LA and got recruited into pornography. And he's trying to find her. And he doesn't know if she's in this movie or not. And he has to go into a porno theater in the 70s and sit alone and watch a porno film to see if his daughter pops up. And she did, and it destroyed him. But instead, they were showing in the movie, in the bit they're doing, they cut in Adam Sandler's Jack and Jill. And I'll show it to you just because it will make you guys laugh. And I'll bet Adam Sandler thought it was funny too. But it starts with George C. Scott sitting alone in a small movie theater.
Oh my God, dude.
Now the projection starts.
Yeah.
You already love it, right?
Yeah.
He just weeps at the end. That's the greatest, right?
Obviously, we didn't come up with that idea. We were inspired by those videos you see all the time, where you see people are editing themselves into whatever, different movies, different or viral moments, and that was kind of the, we want to do our own take on it. That's kind of how the sound guy came up. But that stuff cracks me up.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, nothing.
It's the reactions, right? It's all about the reactions, the pre-recorded reactions.
It's the idea. I mean, that's the great part about a funny a funny idea is when you kind of stumble onto it and you just kind of go, oh yeah. Like it's that way with a joke, just a joke where you kind of, when Jerry Seinfeld is at the supermarket and he goes, the hot dogs come in a 8-pack and the buns come in a 6-pack, and then his brain goes, oh, a joke. You know what I mean? Like he holds them both up, right? Like that little moment. But you're not really inventing anything or reinventing anything. You just figured like it's almost like a math equation. O'Reilly. Yeah. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Wow. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. They offer friendly, helpful service and all the knowledge you need to keep that car rolling along. And if I can't figure something out in my car, I just call them. They're always my first call. But they've got thousands of parts in stock and can test your battery for free. Need wipers, brake light, or quick fix, they'll get you the right part. Everyone who works there is knowledgeable and they're friendly. The professional parts people at O'Reilly are your one-stop shop for DIY auto stuff. Whether it's in-store or online, you always got to go with O'Reilly. Am I right, Dawson?
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit them at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
Homes.com. Some might say Homes.com is the best home shopping site. I would say that. It may be Homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. Homes.com. That's Homes.com. We've done your homework. Kevin James strikes me as a really good dude. I've talked to him a little bit, but I wouldn't claim to be friends with him.
No, he's awesome. Yeah, he's really funny, and I mean the movies he's done are great. Along with I mean, this might be a hot take, but I actually think Jack and Jill is a great movie. I remember seeing it in theaters when I was little. I loved it.
Well, watch it again as an adult now. Let's see how you feel.
Are you thinking about that dad in the theater?
Yeah. I'll be thinking about the dad watching.
By the way, that was Peter Boyle who ran the porno theater. That was Young Frankenstein. That was the dad from Everyone Loves Raymond, right? That was the guy, the projectionist who came around the corner for a second was the late, great Peter Boyle, who was in all those movies back then, too. But, James, sorry.
No, yeah. So Kevin is, he's so funny when we're in the room developing stuff, and he knows his audience. He's like, yes, I can do this. No, I cannot do this. But some of the things that we come up with that we can never shoot because maybe it's too ridiculous or just too far out there. But he's so funny, and so it makes the process that much more fun. It's what I mean. It's definitely a stressful process, writing, developing, even and then down the road editing. But yeah, working alongside him, it's like you're just shooting the shit with your buddy. You
guys shot in Italy, I'm guessing, or it looked like it.
No,
we were in Rome and Tuscany we were living there for 4 months, I think.
Yeah.
How are they over there? Are they hospitable? Do they give you tax breaks? Do they try to invite you in production?
Yeah, I don't know what the tax rates are, but I mean, it's definitely they've got great crews there. I mean, they shoot there all the time. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the people living there was so cool. It was really, really cool to be able to kind of put yourself and live in that culture for a while. I feel like life is so much slower over there than it is over here.
Yeah,
which is nice. I mean, you go out to dinner and it's a 4-hour ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, you also pick up on things too. Like you find a little inspiration. Like, I don't know if you remember in the cafe scene where Kim Coates and Allison Hannigan are ordering coffee, and she gets handed a cup of ice and a glass of milk, and she's like, "What the hell is this?" He's like, "Drink it. You ordered it." You know, and it's for anyone that's experienced ordering a iced latte in Rome, they just give you a cup of ice and a glass of milk.
Good.
It's not the same thing as it is in the States.
I like Kim Coates a lot. Kim Coates, let's see. Maybe, I'm trying to think. Now, a deep Kim Coates cut, I think, is Waterworld.
Yeah.
Because he was great in Waterworld. Waterworld.
That's a deep pull.
That's funny. Someone just said that to us today. They saw the movie Solo Mio, and he's like, all I can think about is Kim Coates in Waterworld.
He was great in Waterworld, and Waterworld is a great movie. People talk a lot of shit. Black Hawk Down, of course.
I love that movie.
Great movie. Super dusty. I have trouble with dusty movies. That's why I like Waterworld, because there's no dust in it. Black Hawk Down was dusty. I used to work construction, so I have these weird flashbacks to dust. You know.
I mean, so did we. I think that was my comfort place.
Construction site.
Well, not full construction, carpentry. So.
Oh, carpentry.
Yeah, we grew up. Our dad's a carpenter.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of carpentry?
He's got he's like the old school, like
does everything. I mean, he builds houses. He built our house growing up. The house we grew up in he built that. Our brother Mike is also a carpenter, so they work here in town. We live in a small town.
Yeah,
like building houses.
Man, we could talk.
Yeah.
And you guys grew up like working summers, framing, and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
year round. Yeah, we that's all we did. Our
roofing in August and July. In August, brutal.
Yeah, that's all I did too.
Yeah.
I think a dad that built the house you grew up in is a pretty good story. You know, like that's
it's definitely not haunted, which is nice.
It's a point of pride. I like that stuff. It's kind of mom cooking for Thanksgiving versus ordering, a big food order at Sprouts or something, and dad building the house you're in is pretty good stuff.
We had a really, really great childhood. Super blessed.
That's good. And I should ask. So I do a little survey about your mom. Well, one's mom, not just your mom, but everyone's mom. And you can talk a lot about a mom about, what did she do, or did she teach you piano, or did she hug you a lot, or was she there for the Little League games? But it's too scattered. So I've narrowed it down to, was she a good sandwich mom or bad sandwich mom? Because if she's a bad sandwich mom, she's universally bad. She's not a horrible sandwich mom and your biggest fan at every Little League game. She's horrible at sandwiches, and she never showed up to the Little League game. But if she's a great sandwich mom, she's also in the stands wearing your jersey number. See,
she's the best, greatest
sandwich. Yeah, she was a great chicken pot pie mom too.
Yeah, she did. She insane cook.
What was she do a chicken pot pie from scratch?
Oh yeah. Make her own crust. That was.
Oh, she'd roll out her own crust and crimp it on top.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The best. No, she used to make so much bread. Like she would make loaves and loaves of bread. So good.
That's why we're all fat.
Yeah.
You're not, by the way. People aren't watching this, but so what was her sandwich? Now again, I stumbled on this, and my mom was a no sandwich mom, so I got a 0. Dr. Drew's mom was a shit sandwich mom, which he got shitty sandwiches, but she was a shitty mom. It worked out. I had the 0 sandwich mom, and she was consistent. Drew had a shit sandwich mom, was shit. Andrew in the other room had one. When Drew found out that Andrew's mom toasted the bread for his sandwich, he went out of his mind. Drew didn't even know that was an option. Now, what is that? All that is more effort toward you. The toasting of the bread. It's a little extra work, but guess who's worth it? You are.
Standards were
What? So your mom made the bread?
Oh yeah, she made the bread. She made the sandwiches. Yeah, like I said, just the standards are so high, so spoiled. You know,
She actually at one point she had a bakery for a little while.
Wow.
She made pies, cakes, bread, sandwiches,
pastry, all that.
Yeah.
And so, what was her sandwich? What was her best sandwich?
She did it all. One that I really love that I remember really well is just a classic turkey sandwich. You know, but loaded up with everything. You know, like
she used to. Yeah, she used to do this thing where because there's 10 of us, right? So we, grew up in a family of 10. So anytime we go out and about, she would always go to the grocery store. She'd grab a bunch of rolls, a bunch of like just cold cut turkeys. Mayo, lettuce, all this stuff, chips, drinks, and she would just like in the back of the van just start making sandwiches in the back of the van, handing them out wherever we were. Yeah.
Wow. And so you guys, you didn't grow up rich, but you had that base, that solid base.
Rich in our environment, strong family. Everyone loves each other, super close. And
we grew up 100 feet from my grandparents.
Yeah.
So they were always around.
How much of that is religion?
All of it.
All of it?
That's why there's 10 of us Irish Catholics.
How'd you hook up with the Angel guys? And did you guys, because I work with the Angel guys and they're great and they're in Provo and I've shot some dry bar stuff with them and so on and so forth. But the question is, they acquire things that have already been made, which is a lot of what they do. And then they produce other things, they fund and that kind of stuff. What was your relationship on Solo Mio?
That was all through Kevin. We shot the movie independently with Kevin and the two producers, Jeffrey Greenstein and Mark Fasano. And then, when we edited the movie, then Kevin brought it to Angel. That was kind of the connection.
And Angel was like, we're going to put this in theaters. And we're like, hell yeah.
Like 3,000, I hear.
Yeah. They're like, it's going to be a nationwide release. And we're like,
did they
anything we could have, dreamed of?
Did they have to put it through their board? Did they?
The Guild.
The Guild. It's a little nerve wracking. They have a large group of subscribers and they have a guild and they give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, right?
Yeah. Pretty unique. It was actually it was our first collaboration with Angel and it was really cool. We were down in Florida with Kevin this past March of 2025. And he was, wanted to show it to Jordan and Jeff Harmon and some of the guild members there. And it was a rough cut. It was like there was no sound, no color, no VFX. It was really rough, but the edit was almost locked in. So we showed it to, maybe 100 people. And immediately after the film ended, I think it was Jordan turned to me and my brother Chuck and my brother John, who co-wrote it with me and along with Kevin. And he goes, "Who the hell wrote this?" And we're like, kind of like nervously, like, "We did, sir." And he's like, "Who directed it?" And then I pointed to my right, my brother Chuck's there, and he goes, "We need this." He's like, "We need this." I was like, "Wow." I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "I guess it went over well." And then like 20 minutes later, after all the Angel Guild members took a survey and we got the test results in, it scored like a 94 or 5% amongst the audiences, and we're like, all right, like I think we got something that people are gonna like,
Yeah, I'm so happy that the Angel guys are doing what they're doing, and guys like you, and there are others now that have gotten sort of broken free of the shackles of Hollywood. But it's nice that there's an alternative format for movies and stand-up and drama, and like there's just a whole separate area now that you can go to and make a living.
I think one thing we've learned from working in this industry, not even just the industry, but like on a creative level, it's like you're never going to please everyone. So why, it's kind of a pointless thing to try to achieve. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna please everyone. And I think we've kind of learned that. We're like, we're gonna do what we like, and that's kind of gonna be that's where we draw the line. We're like, all right, this is what we like. Let's just commit to it.
I wonder if there's going to start being like alternative Academy Awards and Emmys and stuff like that, because the position that's still in place is there will be no Academy Awards or Emmys or Grammys or Sundance for anything that they don't approve of. But they're sort of sinking their own ship, and now there's all these alternative studios. But I wonder if there's going to be alternative award shows coming up.
The Angel Guild Award.
Yeah, I mean,
another halftime show
with a 95. Yeah, Kid Rock presents.
No, that's why we're so grateful for Angel Studios, because a movie like this, like Soul Amigo, like anyone else probably would have put it straight to streaming. The fact that they took a rom-com and put it to theaters. I mean, when was the last time there was a rom-com in the theaters like this? A rom-com of this style. So yeah, I mean, it's incredible what they're doing.
Well, it's in theaters, and at 3,000, that is a large release. So it's probably in a city, in a town, in a theater near you. Pat and Dan, come back whenever you got a new project. Fun talking to you guys.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for having us.
Bring your dad on next time. I want to talk framing.
Yeah.
That man.
He probably wouldn't say much, but he'd nod and smile.
Oh, I know. He's a quiet man like John Wayne. Thanks, guys. All right. I want to thank Alicia Krause for coming in here and taking care of business, and Big Ed as well. I'm going to be in Texas February 27th, 28th, 2 shows each night at Hyenas Comedy Club. You go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Pat, and Dan, and Big Ed, and Alicia saying mahalo.